Drop points at the top of the ladder, gaps bridging everywhere, relegation zone tightening. My name is Anthony. This is my boy Bruno, and this is your Serie A Round Up. Let's go. Here we are, back again. Serie A, match day 13. My name is Anthony, and this time we're just going to bring you something a little bit different. This is my brother Bruno. Bruno, big match day to talk about, sir.
Oh, so much going on. Like you said, gaps closing at the top, relegation battle heating up, and just surprises all around, really.
Surprises all round. We don't really have time to dawdle in this match day, so we're just going to jump right into it. And where else to start with a familiar side to us, Bruno? Maybe a slightly familiar side. Inter get the 3 goals. They get the 3 points. It was rough. It was gutsy, but it was the best game of the match day. And overall, from a neutral fan's perspective, from what I'm hearing, the best game of the Serie A season so far. Bruno, Napoli and Spalletti finally dropping those crucial points. Victor Osimhen out not only for a month, but then AFCON after that. What does it mean for their season, bro?
Oh, look, I've been saying it across all platforms, football worldwide, European Weekly Catch-Up. Spalletti's renowned for dropping points, and when he starts, it starts to gain momentum, and he'll drop points a couple in a row. But overall, like you said, one of the best games of the season across Europe, and definitely in the Serie A. It had everything. Napoli got the lead early, and I thought Inter were done for in all sense of the word. I was worried going into this fixture with Ranocchia, the frog, starting out back. But there's that one statistic in the last 3 years. He has not dropped points when he's on that field. So I had that in the back of my mind, but the team just showed up and they were resilient. There was a couple of lapses in concentration, but they're also lucky to not equalise right at the death. Overall, though, I don't think you can argue 3 points did go the right way. The better team for the majority of the fixture. But Inter took points off Milan last match day, sorry. They got all 3 points against Napoli. They're bridging that gap, and it's starting to take shape. This team's starting to take form, and Inzaghi's introductions of Correa, Dzeko, Dumfries, even though Damian was absolutely phenomenal, you can see they're starting to actually link up. But the crucial point in this fixture, in my opinion, is that Martinez gets his goal. And we know how deadly he is in front of goals, and he just needed that confidence boost.
Yeah, 100%, man. Well said. Martinez with his little salute there. That's sort of him half apologizing to the Curva Nord for his disappointing display against Milan. But no better way to redeem yourself than a goal against the top of the table team, Napoli. I'm sure he was really fond of getting this goal, as he would have very fond memories of grabbing what was his first big ever goal for Inter in this fixture in a 1-0 win under Spalletti, ironically enough, just a couple of years back. Next fixture on the match day. What a moment for this young kid, young Felix. A Jose Mourinho masterclass substitution at the end of the day, as he comes on in pretty much the last 10 minutes of the game and bags not only 1, but 2 amazing goals in order to keep the Giallorossi on the brink of top 4. Mourinho is still surviving, and this is a nice little side story for the press, Bruno, man. He promised him some really nice shoes, some really good shoes if he came on and made an impact. 2 goals. There's Mourinho giving him an embrace and keeping to his promise and buying him those shoes. Bruno, just really, really quickly, how do you think Jose's got this team oiled, man? They respect him, don't they?
Look, Jose's a name like Pep, like Ferguson. You want to impress them as a player, like Conte. The players play for the manager, and he has the respect of a lot of this team. And there was rumors of a dust-up between him and Zaniolo, and it's been brushed aside because Zaniolo knows what's best for him. Yes, he hasn't gotten the momentum, but you can really see he's picking the best of the bunch, and he's using the youth that Roma have got there. So I don't expect them to win the league, but I do expect them to pose a threat to a lot of the teams, especially with Mourinho, and especially getting this team well oiled. Now there's no international break until February, I believe. So He's going to start to gain that momentum. He's got the Conference League coming up this week as well. So he gets those points. It's a game on Mourinho, and you just need the team to believe in the manager, and you can really see that's what's happening here.
100%, bro. Well said. Going over to Ivan Juric's men, Brecalo and Bremer do the job. They've got the Granata sitting on 17 points now in 11th. They defeated Udinese 2-1. If you haven't seen the highlights or those goals, I need everybody to go and watch the second goal that Udinese conceded. Absolute calamity pinball football at the back. And Udinese, you know, down in the dumps a little bit. They're 3 points back in 15th, but they need to improve, man. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. Without Rodrigo De Paul in there conducting the midfield, they need some inspiration from somewhere else. At the moment, it's just not there. Moving on, man, another fixture and another 3 points for Hellas Verona. They are playing fantastic at the moment. A really good game in which Empoli basically continued to show Bruno and everybody else why they are the better of, you know, the bunch that had to come up from Serie B last season. But it would have to be Igor Tudor and Verona who stole it at the death. Barak opened the scoring in the second half. Caprari came close to a second goal before Empoli equalized through Romagnoli. But an incredible, an incredible 3 points again for Verona, who are ninth. After losing Ivan Juric, they're still back in that same position, and you got to give them props. You really do need to give them props. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. The shock of the round, though. The shock of the round, I'm going to have to say, ladies and gentlemen, it goes to Venezia. Okereke, he just towed in on the 61st minute. Something like 33% possession for Venezia during this match. And the way that they came away with 3 points, that's their second win in a row. Second win in a row, 6 points straight for Venezia. And everybody knows who follows Serie A. If you're going to get 6 points in a row in the relegation zone, that's like finding a pot of gold. It's 2 weeks, 6 points. Well done to them. It's really hard to fault that. Moving on. A team that was in Retiro. Bruno knows what that means. For anybody watching who does not know what that means, Sampdoria went into Retiro, meaning that they had to basically go into something that Juventus had to go in, which is where the team collects together in training, does not leave the camp until the issues are resolved. They snapped a 3-match losing streak in this game with Candyman Candreva getting his name on the score sheet again. And yeah, that was really needed. It's worth mentioning, but not just on an Italian point of view, and Bruno will appreciate this, but when you lose a manager as experienced as Tinkerman Ranieri, that guy's just gone to Watford and won 2 out of his last 2 games and pumped Manchester United over the weekend. You can tell his presence has left a hole in Sampdoria. Moving on to Sassuolo 2. Cagliari 2. A decent point for Mazzarri's men on the road and some great goal scorers. Some of our favorite goal scorers in Serie A were able to get their name on the score sheet in this one. Opening the scoring with Scamacca after he had a chance earlier that he squandered. But the reply from Keita Balde's goal was an absolute stunner. Full-blown volley on his ass and all. Only for the Italian international Domenico Berardi to make it 2-1 from the spot after a very obvious penalty. And then Cagliari's man of the moment, man of the season, man of everything, João Pedro, who just recently is put his application forward to play for the Italian national team. I'll be talking about that a little bit more in another video. They get the point. Sassuolo still stuttering. We know after losing De Zerbi, their goal is just to basically stay in the top half of the table. Whether they do that or not, different story. But overall, fantastic game. And here's a small screenshot basically of where Keita Balde was positioned when he ended up finishing that goal. A sensational strike. It'll be in the highlight reel at the end of the campaign. Juventus handed this win on a silver plate by some horrible play from Lazio. Bruno, overall, just quickly, what does this mean for both sides? Sarri playing the inconsistent card all season. Sometimes good, sometimes not so good. However, Allegri FC, 1-0 FC, back again.
Yeah, look, it was going to be an interesting fixture from the outset. Sarri facing his old team in Juventus. You know, we had a couple of those instances this weekend as well. So it was interesting to see how it's going to be. And he played typical Sarri ball. You know, he was just shy of 60% possession for the game. But this Lazio team's quite inconsistent at the moment. They didn't really lose much in the off-season. Yes, they lost Correa, but he wasn't their starter. And they've brought players in, but you can just see this team still has a lot. Now, yeah, I think this is a team that does need to go into retreat, especially with the lack of attack they've got at the moment, that grinta that they really do lack. You know, and Immobile, he's not there 100%. Now, he's injured at the moment, which is a massive loss for Lazio as well as the Italian national team. But you can tell he's a pivotal part in this squad. So they really need to get this. Juventus, they were shocking. Yes, they got the results, but they relied on 2 penalties to get the goal, to get the 3 points, and Bonucci, of all players, to put them in. That's someone that you can always rely on, no matter if it's a Euros final or for the club football. But Juventus do have bigger and better things this week as they face Chelsea in the Champions League. So it's one critical fixture after another. Juventus, they really did need to pick up the slack. You know, they beat Fiorentina, but then their previous 2 fixtures were 2 losses. Yeah, they might have thumped Zenit, but who is Zenit in the greater schemes of things? They look like they're recovering from the loss of Ronaldo so close to the start of the season, but they are lacking. And they are going to get found out. But the impressive thing with this squad is they stepping up against the bigger teams. You saw the fixture against Inter. We've seen how they've played against Lazio. Lazio, in some essence, has been a bit of a bogey team for Juventus as of late, but they managed to get that across the line. But this Juventus squad are probably facing one of the, I'd say, top 3 teams in the world at the moment in Chelsea in the Champions League. So it will be a very telling sign to see how they perform, especially after they got the result last time round.
100%. Pepe Reina showing that he probably wouldn't walk into a Serie A cheese side at the moment. Meanwhile, Bellucci just basically declared himself Italy's national penalty taker as well after the disaster zone that's been going on there. And all important is they face an absolute juggernaut in Atalanta in their next match day domestically. Speaking of, here we go. Pasalic, 2 goals. Malinowski got 1. Zapata got 1. Vintage Gasperini machine. Not like Thiago Motta, Spezia are too much of a challenge, but Atalanta are just going to be that side this season that hover around 4th and basically don't go away. They're going to be in the Scudetto race as long as they want to be, and they'll give it up when they're ready. Fantastic side. Honestly, I keep saying it. If I could pick a player in Serie A to walk right into my team, I'd probably take Malinowski. To be honest, I absolutely love watching him play. I think he's an absolute pleasure. It was a pleasure to watch this fixture. What a game, and it's how we're going to end a really good, short but sweet Serie A roundup here on Football Worldwide. Like and subscribe, all that fun stuff. Vlahovic, just when the media tries to pummel this guy, he reels them back in his last 2 or 3 games. I'm glad I didn't take him out of my Serie A fantasy side. Fiorentina raced to a 2-0 lead against AC Milan, and basically they didn't look like they were going to come back at all. Milan, they were absolutely cruising. Fiorentina grabbed the 3rd goal, and then out of absolutely nowhere, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, at the very young, youthful age of 40, ends up grabbing a borderline hat-trick. The only reason it wasn't a hat-trick is because it was registered as an own goal on the 96th minute. But overall, 4-3, full-time. Milan finally drop some points. They finally lose a game on the same match day that Napoli lose a game. Overall, Bruno, your reaction to this amazing fixture, and how does that leave Milan now that they're finally shaken up just a little bit?
Yeah, look, both Milan and Napoli were the last 2 remaining undefeated teams across Europe's top 5 leagues, and that ended this weekend. And it is quite impressive that it lasted as long as what it did, especially with some of the opposition that both come up against. Now, Milan actually have to face Atletico Madrid in a do-or-die scenario for them in the Champions League this coming week. So it is interesting to see how they go, but down 3-0, you expect them to be down and out, to be honest. And Zlatan gets the goals, and then it's just hell breaks loose. You just thought that they were going to get something from this game. Credit where credit's due. Pioli was a step-in manager. They made him the permanent manager when Milan agreed to stay on with him. They were the closest contenders to the top of the table last season, but they've taken it again this season, and it is fantastic to see such competitiveness in the Serie A. It's now returned, but you can't take away what Fiorentina's doing at the moment as well. They have the luxury of not playing the Champions League and all of that. Because of that, they have the match fitness, and they can go into games knowing we've got a week to rest, whereas the top of the table, those players, we've got a midweek fixture. I don't want to get injured because I want to do this. I'm not going to take those 80% chances just in case I injure myself. But you just got to give credit to Pioli. being an Interista, it's hard, but you just need to take that bias away and just say, look at what he's done with this team. You would have thought it was a retirement village, to say the least. But they're doing amazing things. And their goalkeeper, Mannion, is apparently returning shortly. So they're bolstering the squad yet again. And with Giroud and Zlatan up front, they're icons of the game across, countless trophies between them. And they need to stay fit for this Milan team to succeed. Without that, you're going to struggle. But they have had a lack of discipline as well, which did cost them, I believe, in the Inter game, with Dale Hernandez being sent off the week prior. But overall, I think we're looking at one of the most competitive seasons, and it's not going to be like last season where Inter drifted away and statistically won it with, I think, 4 or 5 match days to go, but you could really tell the momentum was with it. This team here is hungry. Milan is very hungry, especially after the team you share your stadium with won it the season prior. Napoli, on the other hand, they're a newfound beast. A lot of the team is the same, but they've got this hunger, and you can really see this hunger. And Spalletti is letting them run their own course. But it's going to be interesting. I want to see your opinion on it. Do you really think there's any other competition other than Inter, AC, and Napoli when it comes to the end of the fixtures?
Well, that's where we're going to end what has been an incredible roundup for Serie A this week. To answer Bruno's question, there you go. You've got the numbers on the screen, guys. So you make sure you let us know in the comments below, wherever you're watching this, what you make of what's been an incredible Serie A season. It's looking back at last season compared to this one, I dare say, blushing and all, Inter did run away with the league. There is going to be no case of anything this season. No one running away with a league. No one running away with a top 4, with a top 6, with a relegation. You're looking at a proper congested league here, man. And all you need to do is to focus your eyes on the points column and go down, and you'll see exactly what we mean. It's going to be fantastic. I do agree with Bruno when I think that the Milan, the boat's rocked a little bit under Pioli, but they're so hungry. They are eyes focused, devil's eyes focused on this Serie A. They've probably got no problem going out of the Champions League in last place. They all saw how it worked out for a certain other team from the city last season. They have got their eyes on it this season, no doubt. Guys, Napoli remain on top spot on goal difference with a 5+ goal difference on Milan. Inter have closed the gap down to 4, and Atalanta make up the top 4 with the Roman sides in the 5th and 6th Europa League positions. Italiano's Fiorentina doing a great job occupying the role there ahead of Allegri's Juventus, very slowly but surely creeping up the ladder. They will be thereabouts at the end of the season. Verona continue to be the surprise package out of any side, I would say, this season. And I would also say that Ivan Juric continues to be the most improved package for Torino. We all know that Juric was going to bring that form to Torino. Big ups to Empoli. Despite taking the L this week, they're still the best of the B bunch. But as it goes down from Empoli, you could make a case that it is a disappointing campaign for anyone south of that 12th position. Bruno, thank you so much for joining me, my friend. What a great roundup it was. Thank you to everyone who watched at home. Bruno, any last words for the viewers?
Guys, just don't forget to like and subscribe to Football Worldwide and tune in daily, because we do drop breaking news shorts, not just with the Serie A, but with football in general. Jonathan and Anthony have made daily appearances breaking those news. So if you want to catch a quick glimpse of the biggest news in football at the moment, head over to our YouTube and check out our shorts.
Thank you. Thank you for joining me today, Bruno. And thanks for everybody who has watched. Forza Italia, Forza Serie A. Ciao ragazzi.
Ciao.